and Barbecue. Welcome once again to another Booze, Booze, and Barbecue. This is Andy.
And this is JoJo.
And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. Thanks for liking and subscribing. We really appreciate that. And we love seeing you guys engage and interact with us. And we love hearing from the listeners too. Mm-hmm. We love it when you send us your messages and your thoughts and your questions and concerns. Yeah. And we really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's great. It gives us stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of talking about stuff, I think I'd like to get right into it.
Yeah.
Because
let's do it.
We have got this rye whiskey in front of us, and it is surprisingly good. So here's the backstory here. We were at the Home and Garden Fest here in our hometown, and for whatever reason, there was a rep with a table filled with, pretty much everything that Eastside Distilling has and makes.
Do you need a reason?
I guess
I feel like you don't need a reason.
Well, I mean, there were a number of booths there that were selling their CBD oil and medicinal marijuana and blah, blah, blah. Well, so, hey, why not throw a little booze in the mix?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man, we started trying some of the different ones, and they didn't really have a miss in any of them, but this one stood out above the crowd.
Oh, I can definitely see why.
It is called the Big Bottom Small Batch Non-Chill Filtered Delta Rye. It is a blend of rye whiskeys, and I don't know, it's definitely a rye whiskey. It's definitely a rye whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
But, man, it is smooth.
Yeah, they nailed it.
It's 55%. It's 111 proof. And, I expected it to be much spicier.
Right. But it's pretty darn smooth.
It is. It is very smooth. It is very smooth. So we've had a taste of this before, but let's think about it and tell the folks what we're thinking with our tasting notes. Hey, cheers.
Cheers.
It's a lot sweeter than I expected.
Yeah, me too.
A lot sweeter.
It almost sort of tastes like a Manhattan already.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah. I get where you're coming from with that.
Like just put a cherry in it and an ice cube and call it good. I
do have this bottle of vermouth that I got from my wife. It was, I don't know, $45 or something like that for a relatively small bottle as well. And so I have to hope that it would make a better Manhattan. I'm not a huge fan of Manhattans, but
has she tried it yet?
Not with this rye yet.
Oh, okay.
She's just been sipping it straight.
Oh,
Wants
really?
to enjoy it. Yep.
Wow. Speaking of Manhattans, I have a bottle of something that I need to bring down and have your wife make me a Manhattan out of.
Do tell.
But so it is a cherry infused whiskey. It's also delicious with Coke. I mean, it is really good, but honestly, it's definitely not as good as this.
Yeah, it's hard for the flavored whiskeys and things to really come up to snuff with something that's well made and well put together.
Yeah. Speaking of well made and well put together.
Ooh, yeah.
Or maybe not so much. There's been some recent developments in the Subaru sort of emissions. I don't know if you want to call it emissions. There's things about emissions. There's things about safety inspections. And this did kind of start back in October. They did admit to a lot of Japanese cars that they made specifically for Japan. And it's gone up from, I think it was started at about 255,000 models recalled or vehicles recalled. And now we're up to like 400,000.
I have no doubt that it's going to go up even beyond that. And this is a Japan only recall right now.
Yeah.
But there's nothing here that's telling me that this won't spread to the U.S. It has to.
Yeah.
This is just kind of following on the heels of Dieselgate.
Yep.
Subaru being involved with that whole thing.
Yep.
Volkswagen though was brazen.
Oh,
brazen.
man.
They were,
it was bad.
When the ECU sensed that emissions testing equipment was being plugged in, it would reduce its emissions and basically put the car into limp mode. So it looked like nothing was coming out the tailpipe but rose water and belly dancers. And then of course when it went back, if I recall correctly, some of the reports were saying it was like 30 or 40 times the emissions that they were reading when the thing was plugged in. It was bad.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Real bad.
And, it's funny that you're bringing this up because I was reading an article just the other day. Arizona has successfully sued Volkswagen.
Oh.
For $40 million.
What?
And my favorite part of the whole thing is that each Volkswagen owner is going to get like $1,000, but the state is going to get $20 million for their general fund.
Wow. Red flag much?
Yeah. See an opportunity, huh?
Yeah.
When I saw that, I just thought, you know what? They're not even trying to hide it anymore.
Nope. They're just hanging it all out there.
Yeah, no. Call that what you want. Anyway, pretty amazing. Makes me want to go out and buy a Volkswagen because they're just getting cheaper and cheaper now.
Man.
Well, Portland has been doing its thing recently where it wants to shut down Portland International Raceway. And it just drives me crazy.
Me too.
Because it's like, you guys, what are we doing?
Right.
What are you going to do with the land?
Yeah.
Years ago, they said, we're going to shut it down because we're going to put low income housing there. And everybody was all gung ho about it.
What?
And then, of course, the land surveys came back and they're like, hey guys, this isn't a floodplain. Like, PIR is built on a swamp.
Gosh.
You can't put housing here anyways.
No.
So that shut that down. But it's just like, why do you see someone else enjoying something?
Right.
And you have to take that from them.
Right.
Like, what demented sense of responsibility? It's pure narcissism is what it is.
Absolutely. Yeah. Or just pure idiocy. I mean, who buys a home right next to a racetrack and then complains about the noise? What kind of idiot do you have to be?
You've got people complaining about the airport, but guess what? The airport stays.
Well, yeah. And that's the same thing. If you are going to complain about airport noise, don't live by the airport.
Exactly. Don't live by a military base.
No.
Don't live near, I don't know, a bombs testing factory. Like whatever you feel. If you feel like the noise is going to be an issue for you, don't get a house right next to a racetrack. Yeah. And then if you do and you don't like the noise, just be a good sport and keep it to yourself. Just keep your mouth shut about it. But here's the good news. In spite of people for years trying to shut PIR down.
Yeah.
Instead, we have IndyCar racing returning to PIR on Labor Day weekend.
Right.
Cannot wait.
Yeah.
I've added this to my calendar. As a matter of fact, I already have the Portland Historic races on my calendar.
That's another good one.
I'm hoping that it'll be a big one this year since IndyCar is coming back.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Okay. I love going to the historics though.
Oh yeah, they're great.
I did a video for Fired Up Friday here a couple of weeks ago, and I wore one of my favorite shirts. It's one that my wife got me. It's this lip shift shirt. And it's got kind of the rear, not exactly 3/4, but like rear 7/8 of a Chaparral 2J.
Yeah.
The fan car. And
what a cool idea that was.
No one ever gets it. No one ever gets it.
It's pretty obscure.
I'm going to give a shout out actually to a gentleman named Jim Clack.
Yeah.
He's getting himself a free growler. First one of two people, by the way, to say, oh, that's a Chaparral 2J.
Right.
I feel like Steve Carver should get some kind of a runner-up prize.
Yeah,
because
I think so too.
He commented, he was like, man, I was just minutes behind Jim Clack.
Right.
The thing I loved was that he said Jim Hall's car. And I was like, yes, this guy knows. Yeah. So he's going to have to get a runner-up. Something.
Yeah.
I'll send him out a beer stein and a spark plug gapper. Yep.
Yeah.
But those guys, what good sports. They shouted it out. Jim's going to get himself a growler sent out by the Booze and Barbecue crew. And we sure appreciate everybody that engages in those. We got a few more contests coming up like that. We got a bunch of growlers to give away. Yeah. And so we're going to be doing that once in a while. And we got a bunch of other stuff to give away. And we got some Booze and Barbecue approved barbecue kits that are going to be coming along.
Yeah. That's fun.
Those are going to be available here pretty soon. But I'm not done talking about the Chaparral 2J.
Okay.
I dig it. I love the concept behind it. There's a video online, and maybe we'll link it on boozebarbecue.com. It's at Goodwood and the Chaparral 2J is getting ready to make a run up the hill, and it's sitting there and it's rumbling away. That Ford lump is just like, you can see the car shaking, you know.
Yeah.
They fire up that 2-stroke motor that powers the fans in the back. It completely drowns out the V8.
Oh, yeah.
And it sucks the car down like 3 inches. You can see the rubber skirts get kind of sucked in, and then the whole car hunkers down to the ground. Cool. It's so awesome.
Yeah. And you know, everybody's still copying that. Ford with the new GT, you hit a button and it like hunkers down.
Well, but this is hunkering down because of the suction, not the suspension. Yeah.
I know. It's like legit.
It's so great. I love it. I love it. We'll get a video up to that. It's one of my favorite things.
Oh, yeah.
Time. Yeah. But I just can't believe how often car guys will look at me and they'll look at that shirt and they're just like, fanboy, what does that mean? Mm-hmm. No clue. Not a clue.
Yeah. And I remember the first time I saw you wearing that t-shirt. And I was like, oh my gosh, fanboy. That is so brilliant.
Yeah, you looked at it and you were like, dude, the fan car.
Dude, the fan car. Yeah. And I love a novelty tee.
Oh, I do too. I love the novelty tees.
So when they combine a novelty tee with an icon of motorsports history like that, it's just like, that's why I've got a drawer that's slowly becoming full of Blip Shift t-shirts. Heck
yeah. I'm super jealous.
Yeah.
I actually want to make some t-shirts. We've got a company.
Should.
Well, yeah, we've got a company here local to us that does a really good job of making stuff like that, making merchandise and stuff. And, I was thinking about that today and just totally like off the wall. I was thinking about us two 80s babies, and I was thinking, how fun would it be to have like a purple shirt with the iconic Lamborghini across the front, you know, and we could just have like the super 80s font. It could say radical.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I would wear it every day.
I would too. Yeah. I'd have to make that into a polo shirt so I could wear it at work.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
We'll see if we can come up with something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's the problem is I'm an industrial designer, right? I am not a graphic artist.
Oh,
and so
neither.
I talk to people often and, they're like, oh yeah, can you design me up a sticker or whatever? No. I haven't got the first idea how to use Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator. I'd love to learn.
Yeah.
But, I live in like weldments and sheet metal and electronics. I don't do,
right.
I don't make pictures pretty. I make lines and dots. Ooh, that sounds super boring. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I know that face. Yeah, it is super boring.
Yeah, it is super boring.
Thanks for agreeing. Appreciate that. Well, I had a pretty epic weekend.
Yeah.
Saturday started off with me trying out the new fire pit. Wife got it for me. And, man, I love it. I love it.
It is pretty cool. Yeah.
It has been super functional. I posted some photos on the social media, but, we cooked our breakfast 2 days in a row over that thing. And it was so awesome. I just took one of our cast iron pans out there, did some bacon, did some, eggs from our chickens and ducks, obviously. And, did some toast right over the open fire. Oh man, I love that. It feels like I'm vacationing in my backyard. So I just I love doing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we packed it all up and, the wife was going to this Jane Austen tea party thingy. And, I decided that wasn't necessarily my scene.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I decided to go.
Imagine that.
Well, but that city that it's in, Aurora, they have got tons of antique stores. That's
a really cool little town.
It is really cool. And the only things there are antique stores and wineries. That's it.
Awesome.
So I walked around and looked at antiques. And then I stopped by Pheasant Run Winery and did their full flight of whites and reds.
Ooh.
I got to tell you, I dig their reds.
Yeah?
Yeah, we bought a couple of bottles, brought them home. We're going to be reviewing those in future episodes.
Excellent.
Yeah. And then the trade-off, because I took her to the Jane Austen tea party, is she had to be dragged along to the World of Speed members only Porsche exhibit opening.
Dude.
Which I loved. Yeah. It was so amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Every time I go, I just get so emotional. You know, I'm looking at these cars and there's just so much history there.
I know.
And the people that run that place are just so passionate about what they do and so knowledgeable. And of course, I think she picked out the most expensive Porsche there. I could be wrong, but the 959.
Yeah.
Yeah, she saw that and was like, this is the one I want.
Yep.
And said, it's 1988. Like, it's got to be a couple of $1,000, right? Like, tell them, pull it off of that block and it's taken home.
Yeah, if only.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that Porsche 959 is, I have no words. I have no words.
You know, the rivalry of the Porsche 959 and the Ferrari F40 has to be one of the most spectacular of all time.
Yeah.
And, I tell you what, man, it would be hard for me to pass up either car. Like if you said you had to pick one or the other.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Maybe if the Ferrari was in anything besides Ferrari red, well, maybe I would not want the Ferrari.
Okay, so the 959 would have to be silver.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And the F40 would have to be red.
Yeah. Well,
there's
like I
no
said,
other options.
It's Ferrari red. It has to be.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the F40 in a previous episode, I was talking about a little die-cast toy that my aunt got me. And, that of course started my love of the 80s supercars. But yeah, that Porsche exhibit, man.
Yeah. I need to get up there.
Oh, yeah. It was astonishing. You need to go and check it out. You really do. And the members only thing was really cool. It was open bar.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I may have had a couple too many glasses of wine.
Uh-oh.
But
well, you started early.
I did.
You pre-gamed at the tea party.
No, I brunched. It's
you brunched. Excuse me. You brunched.
That's what
at
we do
the tea
here.
Party.
But while we were at World of Speed, they let Vanguard Brewing come in.
Oh, yeah?
And do some tasting.
Yeah?
And I was quite impressed with the beers that they had. I really was. And I had no idea. They're right across from World of Speed. They've been there for a couple of years.
Yep.
I don't know how I didn't know it.
Yeah.
Apparently they've got hours that kind of reflect the closing hours of World of Speed. So when you get done at World of Speed, you can just head over there and have some beers and have some pizza.
Yeah.
And I found it, the illustrious glitter beer.
Oh, no way.
Yes, I did.
Oh.
And I had to try it, obviously. You know.
What was it like?
It didn't taste any different.
Okay.
It did make me feel like I was part unicorn.
Yes.
I had them put it in their imperial stout that they do.
Oh, so you can put it in whichever
beer you want.
That's exciting.
And I'll tell you what, man, that imperial stout was super good. I was very impressed.
Wow.
You know me, the darker, the bigger, the better. I love the big malty roasty beers. And their imperial stout did not disappoint. It was very good. Very good. We're going to have to get some Vanguard beers on the show.
For sure.
And, man, it'd be nice to have some of the Vanguard folks, swing by.
Yeah.
And, do our little pod. So going to be working on that for a future episode.
Cool.
But, I couldn't believe it. And of course, everything went wrong that could go wrong. My wife's phone was dead. Mine was too low to be able to use the flash.
No.
And so I had to ask them.
You have a car charger? Dude.
Well, I didn't know how low my battery was.
Oh.
I had just finished at World of Speed, taking a bunch of photos and video.
That's true. Yeah. I've been there.
Oh, yeah. Well, fortunately, they've got a flashlight that is specifically for highlighting the glitter in the beer.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, so I snagged that from and got some good photos and good video. And you guys can find all that on our Facebook and Instagram. And it's up on the Twitter. And it was a super good time. And I was very impressed with their selection. I was very impressed with their beers.
Yeah.
And definitely going back.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely going back.
Take me with you. Just saying.
We're going to make that happen. I was kind of hoping that they would have barbecue at World of Speed because we've been to the members events before where they were catered by a local barbecue company.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I was really hopeful. That's not the way it worked out. The food was still very good. Don't get me wrong. It was very good. It was appetizer-esque. You know. but it definitely got me hankering for barbecue. And so immediately I had to come home and throw something on the grill. But it got me kind of looking at different grills, because I really would like to buy and review some different grills here in the future. And I'll tell you what, I've got one that I've really got my eye on. It's called the Pit Boss Copperhead Vertical Smoker. And it is cavernous. They say it's 5.5 cubic feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which is about the freezer space you need to be able to hold a quarter beef.
Nice.
And it's got this enormous hopper on the backside. I was looking at some reviews, and one person said that they can fit like 2/3, 3/4 of a bag of pellets in the back.
Awesome.
And on obviously a low setting, they say, Pit Boss says, that it will run for 48 hours straight.
Wow.
So you figure if you're running, 275, doing brisket or something, who knows? You might be able to get 24 hours worth of smoke out of that hopper.
Yeah.
And it's got a bunch of really cool looking features. We'll put a link up to it, on boostboostbarbecue.com. And speaking of links on boostboostbarbecue.com, it is really easy to use now. Joe has been working on the website a little bit. We've got buttons that you can click. So if you go to boostboostbarbecue.com on mobile or internet app or whatever you'd like, you can just click those buttons. They will send you to an outside link of all the stuff that we're talking about. So if you want to check out this Copperhead Vertical Smoker, pause the show right now, go to our website, and just hit the button and it'll send you right over to it, and you can check it out for yourself. And then you can come on back and check out the show. And, of course, we can be found on Podbean, SoundCloud, iTunes, wherever you get your other podcasting media. If you would like to just play from our website, you totally can, because we've got a new embedded app, and it works just as well on mobile as it does on the desktop. You just go to our website, boostboostbarbecue.com, and go ahead and hit play, and then just close your screen. And your fast forward, rewind, volume up, volume down, pause, all of your normal controls that you'd use on maybe your headphones or earbuds, they all work. They all work. It's super easy. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to find external sources. You can just click play right from our website, and you are good to go.
And if you, I know some of you out there are going to have Bluetooth connectivity in your vehicle, and guess what? If you hit play, it's going to play through your Bluetooth stereo in your car, right through your speakers, and you just work the volume right there, a little volume knob on the dash, and got your commute to work, your commute home taken care of. We'll entertain you all the way.
This is so awesome. I love technology.
Me too.
Sometimes I hate technology, but in this case, I love technology.
Yep.
Sometimes the old technology is a better way to go. But only sometimes. Yeah. Because, we were just talking about it. I love my 80s supercars.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of love the late 80s, early 90s Japanese car revolution that was happening. You had the RX-7s, and you had the Lancer Evolution that was just coming on, and Subaru was doing their Turbo Legacies and things like that. And it was really just kind of this coming of age for the Japanese supercars. And I loved that time period. Yeah. But you had that time period right before then where everything was just starting to pick up speed. And you had cars like the 1985 Toyota Corolla GTS, also known as the True NO, popularized by Initial D. Yep. All of that. And it brings us around to our smoking deal or smoking a doob. Yeah. We've got somebody here that's got a 1985 Corolla GTS. And of course it says AE86, and the ad has JDM a lot of different places.
Oh yeah.
It's a red hatch with a 20 valve 4 AGE engine. It's got individual throttle bodies, which of course I'm a huge fan of. And I'd have a hard time believing that anyone's not a huge fan of it. And it's the hatchback, and it's got the gold RS Watanabe wheels. Yeah. Well, look, Watanabe wheels. Overall, it does not look like it's in bad shape. No, it looks very clean. Yeah. Aside from the very, drifter front bumper, which I'm hoping wasn't replaced because it was wrecked. That's often how this stuff goes. Yeah. But hopefully that's not the case. Let's see here. It's a silver top. The ad unfortunately says it does not come with the RS Watanabes. He's going to throw in some Volk wheels instead.
Oh.
But, it's got a few modifications. Mm-hmm. And my favorite here, it says almost new axle shaft.
Almost new.
And, lots of JDM in the advertisement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's got a TRD two-way limited slip, which I like. That's a great modification for this car. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason why it's a smoking deal or smoking a doob, and we're going to let you guys decide, he wants $13,000 for this car.
Oh.
And I'm trying to decide.
I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to decide if this is smoking a doob or smoking a little meth or pure unadulterated narcissism.
Right.
Because 13,000. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember, you know, the low cost kit cars. They're based on the Lotus 7, but they're called the low cost 7. Mm-hmm. So this used to be the popular car to get.
Yeah.
Because you just take all the parts off of them and swap them onto those tube frame chassis. Uh-huh. And, you could get these rear wheel drive Corollas for, $1,500.
Right.
Now they've really hit an icon status, which, I understand.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe not quite to the tune of 13 grand,
right.
though. But again, that's not up to us to decide. It is up to you, the listeners, to decide. So we're going to put that up. We're going to use the hashtag smoking deal or the hashtag smoking a doobie. Mm-hmm. And, you hashtag which one you think it's going to be. And we're going to tally them up and we're going to tell you which it comes up with. I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this one. Mm-hmm. This one's not too difficult, but, we got a couple more coming up that I think are going to be a little more difficult to decide. Mm-hmm. And look at me, I'm putting words in your mouth. So let us know. Let us know what you guys think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the going rate for these things.
Maybe.
So you guys just, you hit us up, you let us know, and, we will take a tally. Mm-hmm. And, I tell you what, Joe, that just about does it for me. How are we doing on your end?
I'm doing good over here.
Mm-hmm. Looking good and feeling good.
Yeah.
Where can we find you?
You can find me on Facebook, obviously. Andy and I, you can reach out to both of us at facebook.com/boostboostbbq. You can send me an email to Jojo, that's JOJO, at boostboostbbq.com. My Twitter, you can hit me up there. I'm at JO Frisco. And I'm also on Instagram. I am the real Joe Francisco because everything else was taken.
And of course, you can find me on Instagram. I'm just Boost Booze Barbecue, and Twitter Boost Booze Barbecue. And it's like Joe said, email us, hit up the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can send us a letter. You can tie a letter to a brick and throw it through my front window. I'll read it and I'll
maybe not.
Not so much.
Definitely don't do that to my front window.
We like most communications from our fans. Yeah. How's that?
Yeah. There you go.
And we can't thank you guys enough for listening and for tuning in and for telling your friends about us. Yeah. And keep your eye out for those giveaways because we're going to have some really good stuff coming down the pipe. And it's going to be a really, really good time. And we're super excited to bring you along with us.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for tuning in. This is Andy. That's Joe. And we will see you next time. Boost, Booze, and Barbecue.